Welcome back to Talking About Blanks, the show about the show where we'll be talking about blanks, but we'll literally be talking about anything that you can fill in the blanks with. If you can fill in the blanks, we'll talk about it. Josh, how you doing today?
Well, it's not Josh, it's Mario today.
Oh.
And hold up, I've got to get this in. It's Amelia.
Joshio!
And I'm here with Mr. Bob Ross today, I guess.
I am not Memory Man, Mark.
Almost like Bob Marley Moss over there.
Bob Marley Moss?
Ross.
I think Bob Ross paints moss.
Yeah, maybe he does. Yeah. Oh, sphagnum moss.
But also, for those of you that have seen the random commercial challenge number 3, I am not Walter from Walter's Vigs.
Yes, thank goodness.
So today, as you hopefully can tell by now, is our Halloween-themed Talking About Blanks. And so we'll be interjecting some blanks no one asked for content throughout the episode, but we'll also be talking about Halloween, some of our favorite Halloween memories, and some fan questions that revolve around us and Halloween as well. Which, speaking of, let's just go ahead and get started with a fan question. And our first fan question comes from the one, the only, Mr. Sam Hazel. I got your name right.
Got it right.
Time.
We went over it multiple times before the show.
Sam Hazel asks, what is our respective favorite all-time Halloween costumes that we have worn? Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You go first.
You want me to go first?
Yes.
I'd have to say my favorite all-time costume, when I worked in the Wilson store, which we've talked about. That's where the naked gentleman was in the restroom, so all kinds of spooky things happened.
If you don't know about that one, please go back and watch. What episode is that where we discover your...
That's number 1.
Your naked man in the bathroom.
The initial. But when I was working there, we'd always have costume days right around Halloween. So you wear your favorite costume to work. And this is one that I actually bought, but I bought a costume that was a werewolf. And I actually have a photo of that you'll hopefully see pop up down at the bottom.
Hopefully it wasn't a who, what, where, when werewolf.
It's not a who, what, when wolf.
Hey, we'll
get to that.
Yeah, pointing out different topics.
So the mask looks immaculate. Like, it was one of those masks, and it's furry, and like when I opened my mouth, the mask's mouth would open. And it came with these hand attachments that had these long fingers on them. And the shirt that had like fur coming out of the shirt. I mean, it was a pretty gnarly costume. And so I wore this, and literally, like, as I'm out on the sales floor, I would just like run around on all fours, like bolt from one side of the store to the other.
Oh, Mowgli. Mowgli wolf.
there was crying children, the whole 9 yards. But I definitely have to say that's one of my favorites, just because of the realism of it. What have you got?
I like that. I like it. My favorite all-time costume. I didn't do a whole lot of Halloween costuming, but one of my favorites has got to be one of my more recent ones. And some of y'all may hate it. Some of y'all may love it. Negan was definitely my favorite Halloween costume. Got the leather coat, got the red scarf bandana, borrowed a wooden baseball bat from one of my friends. Took lots and lots of pictures.
I think we have a picture together.
Yes, we probably do.
We have a picture because I was a Ninja Turtle, and I was laying on the ground, and you were acting like you were going to bash my head.
Yep, had some little barbed wire around my baseball bat.
That was
I loved it. The only thing I don't have is the height. I didn't have the height. So anyway,
it was either that one or your salt guy.
My Salt Bay guy.
Salt guy.
I do enjoy doing that one too. I used to have longer hair, and since then I've kind of shaved it and trimmed all that.
I used to have shorter hair, just not today.
But anyway, I could slick my hair back really good because he's got really long hair, but you can't tell.
Yeah.
So anyway, used to slick my hair back. I had it right.
Yeah, that's a good one. You wouldn't happen to have a worst Halloween costume, would you?
Worst.
Since we're talking about Halloween costume, I have one.
Dude, probably like the one I'm wearing right now. Oh, Mario.
What did that cost you? The Mario hat?
Let's see. It's actually one of my kids. The kid's hat, and it's one of my old shirts and one of my other old shirts.
There
so
you go.
Threw it together. So Took no time to find, and
My toilet's been on the fritz lately. After we finish filming, can
basically
you help me out with that?
I am a plumber.
My worst Halloween costume. Actually, I've got two, and I'll go through the first one really quick because it was a way long time ago. When I was a kid, me and my brother, my mom would always take us out trick or treating to the rich people's neighborhoods. That was pretty standard because we weren't
Best candy in town.
Yeah, we weren't super wealthy growing up, and so we would always go to the nice big 2-story house neighborhoods and get all the nice candy. Well, we would always have matching costumes for a couple of years there. And one year we had the inflatable sumo wrestler costumes. Have you ever seen those?
I believe I have.
Yeah. So we got the inflatable sumo costumes. So literally I'm wobbling through neighborhoods, and you've got this little fan at the back of the costume that's keeping it going. And you can kind of hear it. And it takes, I don't know, 2 C batteries or something like that. We were out Halloween candying, yeah. And
Trick-or-treating.
I guess the batteries that were put into the costume were previously used batteries, because we get like midway into this really large neighborhood and my costume dies. So the whole sumo wrestler just basically turns into one gigantic wrinkle. So I'm walking through this neighborhood just dragging this what appears to be excess skin.
Is that what they look like when they get old?
Yeah. Around no fat. I had no fat, just skin. Mm-hmm. And so that was terrible number one. Terrible number two. Right after my, I think it was the year of Halloween after my wife and I got married, we decided to do our first matching costume. And so we decided to go with Despicable Me themed. And so we get my wife a Minion costume. She's cute as a button. Looks great. And then I'm Gru. Well, obviously I'm not bald completely, and my wife does not want me to shave my head bald. And so the only other option there was to buy a mask. And so I bought a Gru mask. It's entirely too big for my head. And so the mask is like concaved, and it's just like my head looks like it's been bashed in by Negan. And hopefully I have that photo still. I'll put that down at the bottom.
That one up there for
It's
sure.
really bad. And we had no kids visit our house for Halloween that year. We had which is fortunate, because obviously they'd have been scared to death.
What in the world?
But about the minute I took off my costume, we had trick-or-treaters. Again, probably for the best, but nonetheless.
Yes. Okay, so continuing with the Halloween.
Yes, because it is the Halloween episode. That would make sense.
Oh, we should just continue with that.
Let's do that.
All right, I'll continue. But anyway, so we had a fan theater, and it was it the kids edition, or was anybody could write in?
Nope, it was anybody. That was the first,
Halloween.
That was the Halloween. Yeah, the first
was
one.
Was it the Halloween?
It was the Halloween.
So the Halloween fan theater, sponsored by Halloween.
Thanks, Halloween.
Well, we did some. What did we do in that? We did
the first skit that we did, if you've not seen it, was actually written by a kid, and those honestly are my favorite ones.
I think so. Yeah.
But it was you and Taylor. Taylor was a ghost who worked at Walmart.
Right.
And
that wanted to pierce my belly button.
Yeah, he had to work on his birthday.
Yes.
And you just walked up as a customer, and you were like, "Hello,
Yep.
I am a customer."
Mm-hmm.
What did you say? "Hello, I am a customer." You look like it's your birthday.
Yeah. Did I say that?
Yeah. It was in the script.
It was.
So you
I had to say it.
And you look like it's your birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And
from there,
I was wondering if you
we
could,
went into the bathroom. He pierced my belly button.
On the
Blood
sink.
and guts went everywhere.
an alien came out of your belly button.
That's true.
And sang happy birthday to you in alien language.
Mm-hmm. That I have no idea what that was, but it was my birthday song. So yeah.
I don't remember how that one even ended. Oh, your boss.
My boss.
Your boss. Somehow or another, it ended up being a prank or something.
All right. Somebody came in at the end. How did that go?
Gosh, we need to go back and watch that episode, obviously.
Yeah. We must have to do that.
But, yeah, so that's one of my favorite fan theater moments is just you walking in, "Hello, I am a customer.
Mm-hmm.
You look like it's your
It's your
birthday.
Yeah.
Like, How would
You look like a birthday.
You look like a birthday. Shout out to Unstable TV,
who
has a fan question later on in the episode. But the shameless plug. If you've not seen the Small YouTubers React episode, that's some fantastic stuff. Some YouTubers such as ourselves. Not a whole lot of subscribers just yet, which Unstable TV is absolutely blown up at this point. They're 5,000 plus subscribers doing reaction videos to Indian content. So, fantastic job to you guys. I'm going to have to go back.
I'm just looking at your dreads, man. I try to hide behind my microphone sometimes. Okay.
Oh my goodness, what were we even talking about?
We're the Unstable TV and
Small YouTubers React. Go check that out. But there's a spot in there where I get cracked up watching it when he's talking about it. You look like a birthday.
Yeah, I do too. Very much so.
But we go from that skit, the one that was written by someone that was not a kid, that was obviously an English teacher.
Yes.
The Who, What, When Wolf.
Yep.
And that was a mess. Everybody's ripping their clothes off and howling at the moon.
Yep.
And the objective, I guess, was to... I don't know what the objective was.
To moon someone at the end?
Yeah, you had to moon someone to turn into a werewolf.
Yeah, there you go. So, now... we're about to start up a new one, new theater, which the adults need to step up and turn in some great stories and keep up with the kids.
Yeah, fan theater. By the time you guys are watching this, we'll extend the invitation. Not gotten all the scripts that we need thus far, but this is a Christmas-themed fan theater coming up, so all the scripts will be Christmas-themed. Mm-hmm. You write the script for 2 to 3 people, plus a narrator. Obviously for some ideas, go back and watch Fan Theaters 1 through 3, but really looking forward to Fan Theater Christmas Edition.
Oh, yeah.
Incorporating Santa Claus.
Yep, snowman, deer, reindeer.
We won't invite that snowman from Try Not to Laugh, number 1. He was a little angry and shirtless.
Yeah.
So Fan Theater number 4, Christmas edition, coming soon. Send in your submissions now. And we can't forget about the very last script of Fan Theater number 2, Halloween edition, when you had your solo debut.
Oh, man.
And,
the deep one.
The deep one.
Super deep. It fell off the deep end of the diving board.
You were reading a script, but the narrator was you reading the script.
Yeah.
And then you ripped up the script because you got scared and you just froze.
Yeah, that was it.
And it just continued to repeat and repeat and repeat, and it was like a never-ending vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Quite horrifying,
if
you ask me, but very good job on that.
Appreciate it. That was the first time I ever read it. Reading to an audience like that is I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, the first time we ever really see these scripts is when we're in front of a camera, which, by the way, is the reason that we crack up so much, because we have no idea what line is coming next until we read it and get ready to say it. And
when sometimes we murder the line.
That makes it even better. You'll remember Fan Theater number 3. One of my favorite Fan Theater skits was the Magic Jeans.
Magic Jeans.
With the butt squirrel.
I do remember the butt squirrel.
How can you forget?
Every time I would expel gas from my rear end,
a killer squirrel.
A squirrel would come out.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. Go back and watch that one for sure. My butthole. My butthole. Now the room smells like farts and blood.
Yeah.
Thank you, Taylor.
So let's talk a little bit about Halloween candy. All right, you can't talk about Halloween without talking about the candy, and we've already talked about candying.
Yeah.
And so
trick or treating.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite Halloween candy?
Let's see. I am a big fan, and I'm a big fan of a couple things, and one of them is Cowtails. Love Cowtails. I love Nerds, and this is the one that's going to get people
prepare yourself
yelling at me and saying, "What are you thinking?" I love candy corn.
Ooh.
A lot of people don't like candy corn.
Interesting.
They say it like tastes like soap or something.
So you genuinely like
I
candy
do
corn.
like candy.
Like you would seek out candy corn.
Yeah, and I think I like the pumpkins, the one that are shaped like pumpkins, even more because they're like more mass, you know? More candy per square inch.
My host is a psychopath, ladies
So
and
do
gentlemen.
you like candy corn?
I do. I do not like candy corn.
I like to stick them like up in my teeth and
Like a
make them look
vampire?
like Dracula.
You
or
know,
something.
it's not that I hate candy corn. Like I don't despise candy corn. If I was in like really dire need of candy, which I eat candy all the time, and that was the only thing around, I'd probably eat a couple of pieces just to satisfy my candy monster down in my tummy. But it's not something that I would ever like go shopping for and intentionally buy candy corn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I like the different flavors of the candy corn, like the caramel apple candy
They
corn.
make different flavors. You didn't know? No, I didn't know.
Oh, you
Man.
just unlocked a whole world for you. There's like caramel apple candy corn.
Oh, that sounds like delicious because I'm
There's
totally a
pumpkin pie
fan
candy corn.
of caramel.
You have to go Walmart, Target,
Yes.
hit them up. Flavored candy corn, but the original just doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, going back to like what you said, going into those higher class neighborhoods or whatever, they would be giving away like whole candy bars, king size candy bar. Here you go. I just lost $2. I don't care. The kids are happy.
I went to one neighborhood; they were literally giving out cash.
We didn't. We ran out of candy, so we're giving everybody dollars.
$2. You know, you're $2 in the bucket. Change costumes around the side of the house. Come back.
Came back as another kid or another monster.
Oh, I'm Alvin.
Yep.
Now I'm Simon.
Theodore.
Oh, my favorite Halloween candy is I don't know if you've ever seen them. They're the big lifesavers, but they're not the hard candy lifesavers.
Gummies?
It's the gummies.
Yes, I like those.
And they're the sour ones.
Oh, I like sour
and they're
too.
big, but you can only get them around Halloween time in like one of the big like variety pack bags. And so anytime that they come around, I've not been able to find them this year, unfortunately, but I always stock up because they're fantastic. I don't like lifesavers because I don't care much for hard candy, but the sour ones around Halloween time, solid.
Butterscotch discs, you like those?
Oh no.
I like butterscotch discs.
So what
too.
you're saying? I'm surprised you didn't like the
I'm
Parma
strange-
Violets
I'm
from
a strange
a
candy
couple
man.
weeks ago
Well,
when
it
we
tasted like flowers.
when we did the British sweets.
Lavender flowers and
Chalk.
like flour. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
'cause
throw some bacon flour in your mouth.
Sounds like you really like senior citizen home candy.
Werther's Ridge.
Oh,
Dude, you don't like those either?
not the hard candy. I like the caramel chews.
Yeah, I can do those
The
too.
hard candy, it reminds me. I love my grandma.
I
do.
loved my grandma.
We both collectively love and loved our grandmas, and she would have this disc or this dish, not this disc.
Disc.
This dish.
She
that
throw
sat
it
on
to
her- No, that would hurt. That she would have sitting on her coffee table at all times, and she kept some kind of hard candy.
Oh,
in there.
yeah.
It was the Werther's or the butterscotch or the strawberry.
Oh, there
hard
you go.
candy.
You nailed it. I was going to go into what mine had.
Well,
Mine always had the strawberries with the little, like the
Yep.
juice in the middle,
Yeah.
kind of.
Or the black licorice jelly beans.
Okay, no. You turned me off there.
Finally, we find a nasty candy that you don't like.
I don't like black licorice, but I do like red.
No, that sounds like
Red
medicine.
licorice, yes.
We're,
Strawberry,
maybe this episode's
cherry.
just turning into like a Halloween candy debate.
Yes.
We need a whole separate episode,
That's
of like
fine.
a bracket to break down the
Yeah.
best and
Bracket
worst
buster.
Halloween candy. Shout out to Good Mythical Morning.
Yeah.
But my worst Halloween candy that I would say is the absolute worst is those wax bottles.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
You ever had one of those?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I was an idiot when I was a kid. Kind of, sort of an idiot still. But somebody gave me the wax bottles for Halloween. And so I just automatically, and I don't know, I don't think this is how you eat them. If it is, shame on them. But I took the wax bottle and I just threw it in my
Yeah,
mouth.
popping bottles.
And just started chewing on this wax bottle. And, of course, the juice comes out. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I tried to figure out how to swallow it, not knowing that it was actually a wax bottle,
Yeah.
and obviously it didn't turn into gum. That was almost really bad. But I think the intention is you just bite the cap
Yeah.
off the bottle, and then you're able to pour the juice in your mouth.
How about like going back to good tasting candy? Because who wants to talk about terrible candy?
Obviously you do, because all the good tasting candy.
No, one of the candies I really like is like, and you probably more see them at Easter and stuff like that, is the jelly beans that are like Starburst jelly beans.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really good.
I don't think that's Halloween candy.
Yeah, so
That's our Easter episode.
yeah, we'll come back and do that again. All right, well, tell me, sir, have you ever been to a haunted house?
Like a real haunted house?
Yeah, like this one we're in right now.
No.
Terror, spook, house.
Yeah, like
those type.
haunted attraction.
Haunted attraction.
Yeah, of course. Hasn't
No, you
everybody?
haven't. You're lying.
I have. I really have. That's actually one of my favorite yearly traditions. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go last year because most all of them were shut down. But in previous years, I try to go to at least one, if not two or three.
Yeah.
The bigger, the better. And one of my favorite Halloween haunted. I don't know why I do that sometimes. It's just like my brain it's working faster in my mouth. But one of my favorite haunted attraction memories is my mom and I used to go to.
It wasn't your mom and him, was it? Your mom and him?
No, not Mom and them. Or Eminem.
Speaking of candy.
We're really rabbit trailing here. My mom and I used to go to haunted attractions all the time because she was the only one that would go with me. And we went to this haunted.
Zach had no friends.
I really didn't. I'm surprised I got people to hang out with now. But
And his mom barely wanted to go with him.
yeah, kind of pulled her along. But it was this haunted trail. And so we're on this haunted trail. It's pretty dimly lit. You can't really see a whole lot of anything.
Would you expect it to be any other? I'll just shut up. He'll never get to talk. I'll just point out all the stupid
That's
stuff
okay.
that he says.
Just point it out.
Yeah.
So it's dimly
Yeah,
lit.
I walked into this car lot. It was so well lit. I could see every scratch, and I saw every secret place that the monster was going to pop out at.
And it sucked.
Okay, go ahead.
Anyways, dimly lit path in the woods. And anyways, my mom and I were walking down this path, and this wolf man jumps out from behind the trees, and he's like, "Rah!" And like right in front of us. I mean, it was not far off at all. Well, obviously there's a path that you're supposed to stay on, and the only thing lighting the path was those little like light sticks that kind of outline the path itself. Mom runs off the path and is just booking it. And so obviously I'm having to follow in behind her where we're in uncharted territory here. There's actors screaming, "Hey, come back, come back." She trips on this this log, falls flat on her face. We finally get back on the trail, finish the haunted trail, get off the haunted trail. Mom peed her pants.
Wow.
Quite literally.
Got her.
Giant wet spot in front of her pants. And I'm sure she'd love me telling that story.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite memories because I was dying laughing.
Now you wish you would have just went alone.
Oh, and one of the whole reasons why, she was so scared is because I trailed back a little bit at one point because we were in there with a group. And one of the actors tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, what's your mom's name?" And I said, "Christy." And so we got to a point where all you hear in the woods, like all the actors throughout the place, because I guess they have walkies and stuff. Christy. Howling and all that. So it's great.
Oh, yeah. You sold your only friend out.
And that's why nobody wants to go to haunted houses with me.
Yeah, there we go.
What about you?
Okay, so I went to, it was kind of like, maybe the same thing, kind of what you went to. It was like a corn maze and like terror trail.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. Was yours inside or outside?
Mine was outside.
Okay, mine was
not a
outside
corn
too.
maze.
So it was kind of like a corn maze type thing, but throughout there was only one way to really go. So it's more like a trail through the corn.
Yeah.
So anyway, throughout the maze, there was little like shacks or something built, like you'd walk into a barn kind of.
Oh, yeah.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
But there, of course, there's people inside just waiting to kill you, supposedly. And
Hopefully not, actually.
I think I'd carried like a girlfriend or something at the time, and like they jumped all over her. Like I guess they wanted her dead or whatever, but they scared her to death. And shoot, man, I don't even know where that story. The story's there's a lot more to that story. Like I thought I was going to have to press charges on some people, because it got pretty. Got pretty adult pretty fast.
Oh, God.
So I was pretty upset at that corn maze. At the time, could care less now, but at the time I was pretty upset. I was like, I'm never going back to this place. But anyway, good time and all.
Yeah. So, funny story. There was one year I couldn't find anybody to go with me to a haunted house.
Sold them all out already.
And this was Taylor and I. If you watched the episode 3 of talking about blanks, met each other in high school. After high school, we kind of fell off a little bit. He went into the National Guard, and so we just both got really busy with life. His job, my job, but eventually we kind of reconnected, and this was very soon after we had started conversating again and trying to hang out and whatnot. I asked him if he wanted to go to a haunted house, and he was like, yeah, sure, why not? So we get to this haunted house, we're waiting in line, and we're like the second people in line, the next to go inside, and he looks at me and he goes, did I tell you I don't really like haunted houses?
Fine time to speak
I was
up.
like, no, you could have told me before now. He's like, yeah, I don't really care for him. I was like, why did you come? And he was like,
Like, doesn't care for them, like he's scared of them and doesn't like them? Or is it like, I just don't like them because they do nothing for me?
No, that's not it.
Okay.
So we get into the haunted house, and literally, this guy, obviously you've seen Taylor. He's not a small fella. He was shoving me because I was at the front of the line. I like to lead so that I can see everything as it happens. I like to be scared in haunted houses. He was literally shoving me. I mean, I felt like a linebacker was back behind me. And he was like, go, man, go. What are you waiting for? Like, go. And he's like shoving me and screaming. And I mean, it was a sight to see. Everybody else in the group was dying laughing because this big dude right here is not having it. And we get to towards the end, and this girl, this animatronic thing, like sits up out of the chair and kind of jumps at you and spits like spits fire. Obviously, it's nowhere close to you, but he took off. Like he left the entire rest of the group and
goodbye,
barreled. But I will always have that in my memory. And somehow or another, I convinced him to go back with me and Mark a couple of years later. And he was like, I don't know how I let you convince me of this.
Wow.
And the only reason that I got him to go is because I told him he didn't ever have to go to another haunted house if he went to that one.
So, wow, just had to go to one more to get out of the rest.
Now that we brought you into blanks, though,
I guess.
I have a feeling that we could work something out to where the four of us go and have a vlog.
Yeah, we can do that.
On the way to a haunted.
I get scared. I'm not all about scary things, but like I'll do it for the fun and the thrill.
It's great to go with a group of people. I don't like going. Speaking of, no, I won't tell that story.
You gonna wait on that one?
I'm gonna wait on that one. Yeah.
Okay. Do we want to talk about this? Maybe. Okay, so you know how we like. We like those. The things that we always go to.
The thing. Oh, escape rooms.
Escape rooms. Like I like scary themed escape rooms. Like I think the first one I ever did was an escape room where you had to get out before like the zombies came in and got you. And actual I guess people were going to be dressed up as zombies. So we made it out just in time. But the funny thing was about this escape room is we had to punch in this color code into this computer type thing, and it was supposed to open up a little chute for a key to come out. So we type in the color code perfectly, and we had to use one of our clues because there was nothing's happening. We hear a noise, but nothing's happening, and all of a sudden we walkie-talkie to the lady, and we're like, we need a clue. We punched in the thing, nothing happened. She's like, there's not a key on the floor? They're like, no, there's no key on the floor. It was supposed to come out of that pipe or whatever. hold on. All of a sudden, a key comes in over the top of the thing. That was a great escape room. Super hard, but they had just forgot to put the key back into the pipe where the little trap door opens up.
Hilarious.
And so the room wasn't like built all the way to the roof, and they could just like chunk something in, and that's what they did. They were like, "Oh, we're sorry," But anyway.
Yeah, stay tuned. We will have a special escape room themed episode with plenty of stories just like that.
Yes.
That, between all of us, we can easily conversate
for a while.
Escape room stories.
Yeah, the trips up to the escape rooms and the trips back, and while we were there, plenty of info there.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. So we've got another fan question from Unstable TV. Shout out to y'all.
You look like a birthday.
It is your birthday, but not really.
My birthday.
But they write in and they ask, what is the most ridiculous Halloween story you have ever heard?
Do you have anything right off the top of your head?
Yes. One comes to mind, and I think my mother probably told me this when I was younger, when I was dressing up for Halloween, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Can't remember. But I do remember this one. So it was about a girl named Susie. And have you ever heard this?
That's not a lot to go on. So,
oh, well, I mean, not every ghost story starts with Susie. And Susie, her mom sent her to the grocery store to go get some ketchup because they needed ketchup, I guess, at the house. So she leaves the house. Should I tell the whole story?
Probably not the whole story.
Okay, well, I'll sum up. So she goes to the store. On the way to the store, she meets a scarecrow dude out in the middle of the field, and he is selling what? Ketchup. Just so have. All right, so
this is a stranger danger story. Isn't it?
Yeah. Don't go shopping at the friendly Scarecrow selling ketchup in the middle of the field. But anyway, she goes back home.
So she got the ketchup.
You got the ketchup. She goes back home, and I guess they had footloaf that night. But so they squirt all the ketchup on the footloaf, and they go to bed that night, and they start hearing stuff in the middle of the night, and it's like the Scarecrow comes in, or they don't know it's the Scarecrow, but it's like boom, 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 and he's knocking at the door and stuff like that, and he comes in the house, and it turns out that it really wasn't ketchup at the end. It was like blood. So, and I guess they all die.
Kind of matter-of-factly.
Yeah,
it was blood.
Yeah, just blood.
That's great.
Yeah, it smells like farts and blood in here.
Did it scare you as a kid?
It was pretty scary because at the very end, it was one of those I got you things. Like she's in the bed and she's covered up and she's getting closer and closer. Susie, I'm on your front step, your first step, It comes up the stairs into the room, yanks the sheets down. I got you.
That kind of ghost
there
story.
You go. That scared me.
Yeah. Well,
pretty good.
One of the most ridiculous ghost stories that I've ever heard that a massive amount of people actually believed was one that I and another friend of mine, Jeff Lushko, if you're watching, which probably not, but back at the Kinston location when I worked there was my first opportunity as a supervisor. I had nearly the entire store convinced that the second floor abandoned stockroom was haunted.
Me and Rosa getting chased by the ghost, that was something special.
My most memorable 1238 moment was when the ghost touched me on the shoulder in the home stockroom.
I guess my most memorable moment about 1238 would be the ghost stories, because each associate has so many different emotions and each story is different.
The third stockroom with Zack, when the mirrored, whatever that thing is, opened up, and Zack and I were trying to get out of there, and we tripped over each other trying to get out of there, pulling each other out of there.
My most memorable 1238 moment was every time Zack made me go into the third stockroom. I think it hated the both of us, so something always happened.
The incident happened in the third floor with Zack, and she made me running around with no shoe, and that's it.
To a T. Mm-hmm. And so between me and this guy, I'll try to make this long story short. One by one, we convinced people that this stockroom was haunted. But this is just no stockroom. Like, when you go to the second floor, you enter this first stockroom. Well, this first stockroom is massive, and it's filled with old fixtures and old mannequins and everything. Then you enter a second stockroom that's just as large, and I'm talking like probably the size of, I don't know, half of a Target, like big, gigantic stockrooms. Well, then after the second stockroom with all this fixtures and mannequins, you enter the third stockroom, and this is the one that I convinced everyone that was haunted. Well, you can go in there. It's much smaller than the other two, much darker. The way I convinced people that this was haunted was I would trip the breaker to the third stockroom before we went in there, and I would come and get an associate. We'd go go into the stockroom, and I had planted my cell phone in this giant tower of mirrors, and unless you knew what it was, you didn't know there was an inside to it. The echo in the stockroom was fantastic. And so I had these ghost sounds that would play, and I would time the alarm perfectly to where we were all the way like at the very far corner of the stockroom. And that thing would go off, and it'd be like, Mommy. And it's just like ringing off the concrete walls in there. There's no lights in there. All we had is my flashlight. I would carry around something in my back pocket, and when the person got in front of me a little bit, I'd toss it halfway across the stockroom, and so you'd hear. It was great. The climax to this ridiculous ghost story was one day after I got off work, me and Jeff planned that I would wait about 30 to 45 minutes after I got off, and I had one of those skin suits, and it was black. And so I waited about 45 minutes. I waited in the third stockroom, and Jeff and this other associate go up there. Mind you, there's no lights, and so all you got is your flashlight. Well, they're walking around in there, and they get to this far corner, and they walk past me. I'm hiding behind a fixture, okay? I'm in this skin suit that's black, and I step out behind them, and I drop something. So Jeff's in on it. He knows all about it. The two associates turn around, and I'm standing there in this skin-tight black suit, and I start, like, moving towards them. Literally, this lady dropped her phone that they were using as a flashlight, ran to the opposite side of the stockroom, and was in the elevator going back to the first floor, literally curled in a ball in the corner of the stockroom, crying. And it was at that point that Jeff and I had to bring her into the loop and let her know this was, in fact, not real, because this girl was talking about calling the police. It had got really serious, so we had to bring her in the loop. And until that store closed, I still had about 3/4 of the store convinced that there was a ghost haunting the third stockroom. One lady was so convinced that she would not go up there because she had heard the story from all the other associates. And I told her, one day I was like, I need you to go up there with the third stockroom. There's a fixture back there that I need you to help me get. There's nobody else here. I'm not going up there. I said, well, I really need that. I'm not going up there. You can fire me right now. I am not going in there. Anyways, I said long story short, but
Did she pee on herself too?
She did not. So when the location closed, I made this giant montage video of a bunch of videos and pictures of years past in the store. And at one portion of the video, I come on the camera and basically spill the beans on everything. And I had a lot of people really mad at me. Wow. But it was great.
The truth finally came out.
Fantastic. So we do have a Halloween episode that is coming out, and it's something else. We alluded to it a little bit on the last talking about blanks, but this is the sound improv, and it took 2 hours to film almost.
It was murder.
We tried it to where one person was doing the sound effects for one person and another person was doing the sound effects for another person. So there was 2 sound effect people at the table and 2 actors. And it was atrocious.
Yeah, it was terrible.
There was people talking over people. There was
people up there making their own sound effects.
Yeah, there was sound effects going off that you couldn't hear. So the actor was like, "Wait, what'd you say?" And I mean, it was just so much. And then we finally got into the groove. We decided 1 person making sound effects, 3 people acting, and even for a while there, that was terrible.
Yeah.
because it was hard coming up with sound effects.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite parts is the carnival that we did. And
Who was making the sound effects for that one?
Mark.
Okay. Wow. Shout out, Mark.
I think, yeah, because you were talking about we need to go to the hammer game.
Yeah, the hammer game where you got to hit the bell.
Yeah, and so I hit it, and Mark goes, whoosh, whoosh. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, this is the MC hammer game, the hammer pants. But yeah, I think eventually we found our groove on that, and I think it will end up turning out being very good. But
yeah, I think the funniest part is when you make a noise that doesn't have anything to do, even though swish swish is like the sound of the hammer maybe coming down and not hitting anything, maybe just hitting air all the way down.
Because then
just
you
completely missed.
Yeah,
and
you
went
can
back
play
around.
with it. You can kind of make it fit your narrative.
Just make an odd noise instead of hitting something solid. It just like hits a watermelon or something like.
Kind of like the grenade.
Yeah, it was a dud.
It was a dud. That was golden. Great job there. So yeah, are you going as well? Not you, because Leroy Jenkins is an actual person. But do you think you'll go as Leroy Jenkins for Halloween this year?
Oh, that I very much could do that.
Have a Leroy Jenkins vlog.
I'm surprised he didn't show today. He's all about Halloween. But.
He's going to be a separate guest on a separate podcast to tell us all about his life story.
Yeah.
And all that.
Yeah, didn't want to expose that soon. So
yeah,
we'll wait.
Yep.
All right, Cian's sticking with the Halloween thing. Cian's how it's Halloween.
And it's the Halloween themed episode.
Yes, we should talk about more Halloween stuff.
All right,
and what's more Halloween than Halloween horror movies? Have you got one for me?
Best or worst?
How about the one that maybe terrified you the most? Or if you'd like to go best and worst.
Yeah, it's hard to terrify me. I like the ghost spirit Halloween movies. I'm not too keen on the ones that could actually be real because those really do nothing for me. But the one that got me as a kid was The Ring and The Grudge. Right off the bat, The Ring and The Grudge terrified me. Actually, as a kid, I thought The Mask was a scary movie. And every time my parents watched it and Jim Carrey turned into The Mask, I would hide and cower behind the couch and cry in my underwear, literally.
Wow.
I ran around in my underwear a lot as a kid. Yeah. But, The Grudge, The Ring, as I was growing up, in my adulthood, it's more the ones that are, like, unsettling. Like, not necessarily jump scary, but just, like, they make you feel a little unsettled. And for me, that was The Conjuring was absolutely terrifying.
I'm not into those. Those are too real. No thanks.
That was absolutely, I don't want to say terrifying, but it was unsettling at parts. There's another one that's Hereditary, and I won't go into too many details.
That's the name of the movie?
That's the name of the movie.
I've never even heard of that.
It gets rather unsettling.
Yeah. Can you imagine an unsettling movie being unsettling?
Here you go again, calling me out, but it's welcome. So yeah, go check that one out. Let me know what you think. Mark and I watched that one together. And also my mom and me and my wife watched it together. And both times, it was just as unsettling each time, just different things that happened throughout. The worst horror movie that I've ever seen, I actually watched with Seffi, my wife and his wife, a couple of months back. It was a murderous recliner. Yep. The recliner had eyes and a mouth, and it would swallow people and bite their legs off and toss people over balconies and
don't sit in that chair.
Push people into ovens. The whole
or recliner,
the whole 9 yards. What about you?
The
best, worst,
absolutely worst like horror movie I believe I've ever seen was like a Thanksgiving turkey, like Attack of the Thanksgiving Turkey. Have you seen
Dave might have brought that one up to me
Please,
at one
no.
point, but I've not watched it.
So it's actually a live turkey. It's not like a plucked turkey. It's real, and it's so fake looking, but the movie just makes you want to finish it, I guess.
Yeah. That's like the recliner.
And it's terrible. It's so terrible, and it ends up killing people, I can't remember what it kills them with, but
his beak.
Maybe so.
Pecks them to
death. I'm sure he does in one of them. But it seems like he's almost got a gun in one of them. How's a turkey carry a shotgun? But anyway. What?
That was like, that may have been the biggest case of deja vu I have ever had.
Wow, I just saw your eyes light up, and I was like, did I say something wrong here?
I'm tripping out right now because I must have had a dream about this conversation
No way.
last night, because I remember you talking about, we've done this before. This is Groundhog Day, but Halloween. Like, literally, I remember you talking about a turkey carrying around a gun, but we've never had this conversation before.
No. So that was by far the worst Halloween movie I've ever seen, or scary horror movie I've ever seen.
What was the best one?
The scariest one that's like terrified me the most, I guess, would probably be The Thing. Do you remember that?
Wow,
one?
the
old Thing.
Yeah.
Like when I was young.
Old Thing.
Yeah. Wild Thing, Old Thing. You know. So I guess I was just too young at the time for that movie, and I can remember like the dogs are in the cage in the back, you know. And all of a sudden they start howling and making all this terrible racket in the back, you know, and the guy goes in there and he's trying to see what's wrong with them. And they just like split open and all these little things are coming out of them. I was like, no, my poor little 10-year-old eyes are, I don't know how old I was when I saw that, but it was way too young. And I do not recommend that one for innocent young viewers.
Well, my parents are divorced. When I was like 7, I was at my dad's house, and they let me watch the Blair Witch Project. And this was like right after it first came out, and I was scared to death.
Yeah,
like,
don't go in the woods.
I was absolutely terrified for my life. Well, I go back to my mom's house the next day and start talking about Blair Witch Project, and she let my dad have an earful. Mm-hmm. You let my son watch the Blair Witch Project. He's like 7 years old. Yeah, great stuff. Thanks,
job.
Dad. By
Good
the
job,
way.
Dad.
Actually, I think that might have created a love of. I've never quite been able to get that same run of endorphins as I did as a 7-year-old watching the Blair Witch Project.
For real.
Man, we talked about we've covered a lot of ground in today's episode, a lot of Halloween stuff, and there's probably so many layers that have yet to be unturned.
Yeah, it's really been a thriller of a podcast. Dun, 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 dun.
Hey,
Yeah.
is Nightmare Before Christmas a Christmas movie or a Halloween movie?
I'm thinking Christmas, even though it's got some scarier people in it.
Scarier people.
Yeah, scarier animation in it.
Yeah, I played at both, but I just wanted to get your feedback. So we carried a lot. We've
Carried a lot.
So we talked a lot. So we talked about a lot of things today. Halloween-related candy, movies, haunted attractions.
Yeah, stuttered, said many words twice while we talked.
A ton.
Yeah.
And so I had massive deja vus. And, now it's time to kind of bring this thing to a close. So Mark was going to join us for today's episode. Unfortunately, he was feeling a little bit under the weather. And so we look forward to having Mark on a future podcast. I don't know if it'll be the very next one, but we've got Mark joining us for a future podcast. We'll be doing an escape room podcast. We'll have Leroy Jenkins guest star on a podcast. So lots of exciting things in the future for talking about blanks. And so if you asked a fan question, and intended it to be on this episode, there's a good chance that it quite possibly will be on the next episode, since this one is specifically Halloween themed.
This has been Mario and Bob Ross and talking about blanks.
And if you can fill in the blanks, we will talk about it.
But wait, there's more. Still got that itch for more blanks no one asked for? Click that bottom left video down there to see the content that YouTube thinks would be the best for you.